Hey there, Paula Rizzo here from paularizzo.com, and I'm joined by my friend, Kate Hanley, who is the author of How to Be a Better Person. It's not only a book, but it's a podcast, and she has very smartly been able to position herself in the media as an expert and pitched herself to get on TV. So I wanted to chat with you, Kate, to see how did you do it? Because I was so excited when I saw you post on social media that you had been on your local TV station. So tell me about your thought process of, launching the podcast and then thinking through, hey, I should get myself some media for this.
Right. Well, I mean, it's a lot to think about, no doubt. I'm a content creator by heart. That's where I love to really focus and think and brainstorm. And the PR part has been less appealing to me, which I think a lot of people can relate to, right? Putting yourself out there as an expert feels a little weird. But I realized that this is something that I really care about. And if I'm not talking about it, how am I going to expect other people to talk about? And so I really challenged myself to, once I got the content sort of well in hand and the podcast was launched, to start sending out pitches. And the way that I got on my local TV news station, well, first of all, I had noticed that we got a new sort of magazine morning news show.
So number one, you were watching. So that's the most important thing here. People are always saying, oh, I want to be on TV, but I never watch TV, so I don't know what they're doing. That's the point. You have to watch.
Well, it's funny you say that. I have to confess that I don't really watch TV, but I'll tell you what I do watch. I watch my social media feeds. And
okay.
I'm involved in some local Providence networking groups, and some of the people who are on the show are in the networking group saying, come check out our show. I'm paying attention. I feel like I got my finger on the pulse, not necessarily the remote.
Yeah, that's okay. That's good too. Yeah. It's a good trick. Yeah.
Yeah. So I knew I was new. I knew they probably were looking for content. I posted something on a local networking group that said, hey, does anybody know anybody at this show? And someone wrote back immediately and said, oh my gosh, one of the hosts used to be part of this group. She's very active on social. Go check out her Twitter profile, which I did.
So that's good. That's a good tip to be able to find the context. Because a lot of times people say, well, I don't know these people.
Right.
But local circles, you could be doing, just as you've done.
Absolutely. Social media is great for that. And Twitter, especially, I feel like a lot more media people are on Twitter and they will have their email address in their bio because they do need to get pitched. I mean, that's one thing that we have to just tell ourselves, is that we're actually helping people do their jobs by pitching them.
They want to hear from you. 100%.
They really do.
They need new, interesting stories, right? So that's cool. So you got the information and then you reached out. How did you reach out? Via email, I'm guessing.
I reached out via email, but I had wrote up a pitch beforehand. Now, I used to write for magazines, so I know how to do this, but it's not rocket science, right? You come up with this hooky idea that's tied to something that's happening locally or maybe on the calendar, and then you essentially write a little article, which is what I did. So I noticed, I went to, I forget what I think I just Googled like crazy national holidays. There are all these wacky days like Flip-Flop Day and Hot Dog Day. I noticed that there was Make a Difference Day was coming up, which perfectly aligned with How to Be a Better Person. So I wrote up a pitch about that. And it's also wonderful. Not only does that give you something to talk about, but it gives it a sense of urgency. Like the producers are going to, not only might they like that idea, but they're going to need to act on it because that day is coming up.
Right. So the hook is there. It's the why now, right? Why do we care about this? It's the holiday that's happening on a Thursday or whatever. So if you're doing the story on a Friday, you're too late. So it is that sense of urgency they want.
Right. Like, gotta get me in there. I mean, I emailed the just like general email address that was in it actually wasn't the host's Twitter profile that had her email address in it. It was the show has a Twitter account, and then they had their email address in it. So it was like info@Studio 10.
Sure.
They got back to me right away though, and I was on, and within, like, they were like, what time, when can you come next week? Can you come Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday? And then that's how I got there. I just rolled it up.
And the pitch, tell me about the pitch itself. So you pitched yourself as the author and host of the podcast.
I did. I said, yes, I am the author of this book. I am the host of this podcast. It's National Make a Difference Day. A lot of people want to make a difference, but they don't know how, or they feel they don't have time. Mm-hmm. So I put together 5 ideas of ways that you can give back in a meaningful way that's also quick and easy to do for Make a Difference Day, which happens to be next week. And so I came up with those 5 tips. Some were very generic. One was start a compost bin. It was fall and people were raking leaves, right? And leaves are actually an important part of a compost bin. I've been researching a little bit. I don't have one, but it's one of my New Year's goals this year to start one. So that was a little bit, I made it a little bit seasonal.
Sure.
I looked up a couple of local events, like ways you could give back. What the Boy Scout troop in a town nearby was having their pasta supper that day. Like I gave them a shout out,
Right.
Stuff like that. So I think that it really made their job easier. I did, I put links to the pasta supper,
Right. Just make it easy. Like that's the key here,
Yeah.
but also like I love, obviously, because you've been writing for magazines and you've been writing for so long, it really is content is content. So you've basically created like, here's a magazine article that we could turn into a TV segment.
Absolutely. I mean, I could take that pitch and sell it to a magazine next year, or
Absolutely.
go on a different show with it next year. Just update the events.
Come up with 5 different things, or 5 different timely, whatever. So I love that, because a lot of times people think through, experts that I'm coaching or I work one-on-one with, they think, oh, okay, so I have to make a whole bunch of pitches over here and then a whole bunch of blog posts over here. It's like, no, all the content is the same. You can
that
just
was a huge light bulb moment for me, because I was thinking to myself, like, I'm already creating this much content. How am I going to create this more work for myself? And really it was, what I did is I set up a Google Drive for myself. And I found old pitches that I had written and blog posts that I had written and just stuff that I thought might be useful in a lot of different ways. And I can go in there and really slice and dice. It's kind of like the Mexican restaurant with the bins in the background, and the bins in the kitchen, and it's all the same stuff in the bins, but you can make 25 different dishes from it. And I mean, that being said, you do want to really customize it to your market somehow.
Absolutely, for sure. And your local market was in Rhode Island, right? It was in Providence.
Yep.
And so you went and you did the segment. I saw the segment. I think you did a great job. And it was quick, but
it was quick.
I mean, that's TV, right? That's how it is. Yeah. So from that experience, how did you feel doing it? And then what happened afterwards? Like, did you find people following you on Twitter? I think people think, oh, you're going to be on TV and all, like the world is going to change. And it doesn't really change so much.
No, it didn't really change. I mean, here's what I got out of it. I got to take a selfie at the studio and with the hosts so that I could post it on my social media, and hopefully they would repost it on theirs. I got to meet the woman who does the booking, so that now when she sees my name in her inbox, she's going to open it. She's not just going to breeze past it. I really got to connect with the 2 hosts. I loved them. One of them, the woman who interviewed me, I ended up sending her my book and a thank you note just to thank her for having me on and being so fun, because she was really, really great. And she took a picture of it and she tweeted it and she put it on Facebook, and she was like, this is how you, I can't remember exactly what she said, but she was like, thank you notes are really effective. This made my day. Check this out.
100%. I cannot say enough. Thank you notes. When I was a television producer, I can probably count on 2 hands the amount of thank you notes I got in nearly 20 years that I was working.
I mean, it really
no one ever sends them. So it really helps you to stand out.
Right. And I think, I'm just sort of biding my time, honestly, until I can pitch them again. I'm thinking that it's about time. It's
a good thing we brought it up, actually. But so I'd be curious to hear how it goes. But thank you for sharing all these ideas and tips and tricks. And I'm glad that it worked out for you so quickly. So I'm hoping to see you on again. Thanks for sharing.
Thanks.
And if you want the media to pay attention to you, you've got to know what they want, right? Well, I've got you covered. Go to paularizzo.com/checklist and you can download my free checklist on how to become a go-to media expert. That's paularizzo.com/checklist.